Hey Facebook. Hey guys. Good night. Good night. Good night. How are you all this Sunday evening? It is the 4th, I think it is, of August. God, I'm getting my days mixed up. And I might be a little bit nervous about today's topic, hence I'm all over the place. But it's Ava Eagle Brown, and today we are going to be discussing something that's really interesting, a very new topic for me personally. So I'm taking my time tonight. I am taking my time. I know my fan is in the background because it's really hot here, and I'm going to be really going live in a minute. But let me just welcome everybody to the broadcast. I'm Ava Eagle Brown, and I'm the host of this amazing forum and platform called Hold My Hand. And I really would like you to give me a second as you come into the room, say who you are, tag a friend. I want everybody to tag somebody because I really think, hi, Marga. So, Marga, you need to, in a minute, I'm going to teach you what to do. So, Maya, please friend Marga right now, and then kind of instruct her as what needs to happen. So I really, I'm so excited about this topic. It is something that was born out of the retreat that I went to last week in Holland. Those of you who follow me know that last week, Saturday, I was a keynote speaker in Holland, and I was speaking at this retreat, and I met the amazing Marga at the event, and I was really so excited about her topic. It was new for me, and so I began conversation. We started talking, and so we decided that we are going to be talking about this because the topic that she speaks on is something that I've never heard about, and I was all more than excited to share it with other women so that they too can come and learn a lot about this that I have learned. So I want you to tag a friend, tag a sister, tag a boyfriend, a husband. I think it's a topic that's going to be so amazing for so many women tonight and men. It is actually one that is going to blow your mind. It is not what a lot of you think it is. So I know a lot of people have been saying, oh my God, Ava, this is a Saturday late night conversation. And I'm saying it is not a Saturday night conversation. It's a conversation that we need to have as women, as men. And so I'm just waiting on people to join us. Maya, tag somebody. We need to have more people on here before we start. Marga, tag some of your friends, share out the link. We really need a lot more people on here so that we can have this conversation live and direct, going out to so many people all over the globe, because we need to share this. So for those of us who don't know, Sister Hold My Hand is a platform that I created. Thank you very much. I'm going to add her in a minute. Maya is a platform that I started a few months ago with some amazing women. And it's really one of sisterhood. It's really about spreading the message of sisterhood. As a matter of fact, it's more about talking about topics like these that so many of us are too afraid to talk about. So I'm gonna invite. I know I can see that, Marga. I'm gonna add you shortly. I'm gonna add some people who I want to be on this Facebook Live right now, and I'm hoping that they'll join us for this conversation. It is going to be interesting. It is going to be a little bit, PG. So I'm going to warn you guys to refrain from joining us if you are uncomfortable with some of the things that we're going to be discussing on here tonight. And so I'm inviting some ladies who I think won't mind talking about this. But for those who I think are going to be uncomfortable, I'm warning you early, there is some parental guidance that will be needed. Without any further ado, I'm going to add Marga to the conversation. I'm trying to find Marga. So Marga, I'm going to add you right now. I've just found you and I've sent you an invite. And whatever sharing, if you are just joining, please share. I've also added the link for Sister Hold My Hand in the group. And if you have not seen it yet, ask somebody to show you the link, and we are going to just literally have an amazing conversation tonight. I have to drink water for this one because I know it's going to be steamy. So if you have friends all over the world, invite them to come and hear what we are going to talk about. So, Margot, welcome, 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 welcome.
Hi. Hi.
It
Thank
feels
you. Let
like
me.
only I can see you and hear you. It was only a few days ago that we were together, right?
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Wasn't it last weekend? I think
Yes, we
so.
did.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
And
it was.
what an amazing that retreat was amazing. It was so much sisterhood, and I think I'm in this whole theme of sisterhood because today I spent the whole day on set filming with a UK artist. She sings. She's a singer, and she was
Yeah.
filming a song called Sisterhood. And so
Wow.
myself was involved. I was invited because I'm doing this whole sister hold my hand thing, and my daughter is involved with one of her people choreograph and organize her life. So my son and I went again. My son and I went again. And so we're in this music video that's going to come out about sisterhood. But
Wow.
following the theme, I really want you to introduce yourself to the audience. Don't be afraid. My stuff,
Sure.
as you've met me, I just keep it real. So tell us who you are and what you do, and then we are gonna dive right in. So PG people, Marga, please share this on your page so people
Yeah, I
can
did.
see the live. And if you're coming in, please, it's parental guidance. It's 18 years old or over. And make sure that you tag a friend. Tag your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your friends to come and hear this amazing
Yeah.
conversation. So take it away, Marga, and tell us who
All
you
right.
are.
Okay, great. This is so good. I'm just checking because this is the first time. You can see me and hear me clear. I'm wearing headphones, so
We
everything is
can.
clear, right?
We
Okay, great.
can.
Perfect. Okay, great. So thank you so much for having me. And so my name is Marga. I live in the Netherlands. I'm 32 years old and I run my own business called Turn on the Netherlands. And what I do is I work with men and women about the topics around intimacy, the relationship to your body and your sexuality. And because I do believe that, basically we all want to be intimate and we all want to be connected as humans. That's what we all want. And so yeah, I really stand for that we have a new conversation as humans about that, because we have a lot of constraints and restrictions around it, around our desires, around expressing it. And yeah, I believe it will make a huge difference for people, and especially for women. Like men and women have the different flavors, but especially for women, to bring our power out and to really
Mm.
connect with each other. And yeah, that's just what I'm here for. So yeah, and I
Thank
use
you.
this tool.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So I know that we're going to talk about our tool later on, but
Yes.
when we talk about women and sexual desire and bringing their power out, I remember when I was in the retreat last week and I talked about using sexuality as a tool.
Mm.
People thought that was disingenuous and that was wrong. And I said to them, no, when I did sales, one of the first things I learned in sales was you're a woman and you need to
Yeah.
use it. I'm not sleeping with anybody, I'm not going to bed with anybody, but I can turn on my sexuality, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Tell us about what you mean by using our getting our power, because a lot of
Yeah.
women don't don't see power in this way. Some people use power in this way, but a lot of women don't see power that way. When we think of power, we think of muscles. Can you explain that for
Mm.
us?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you know our and I'm so, like you introduced already, I'm gonna talk about our genitals. So, and I will refer to that as pussy. Okay, so that's the way how I speak about it, right? So for everybody's watching, I'm gonna use the word pussy, and you might have some thoughts about it, but that's okay. Um, so
Once Facebook doesn't kick us off, we'll be fine.
it's all right. All right. Okay, good. So yeah.
Yes.
So what it is, I believe, the root of power, or at least one, there is different levels, but for women, our genitals, our pussy is like we give birth there, right? This is our sexuality, is our kind of, I don't know how to say it in English, Oerkracht. That's the Dutch word. Like our kind of um yeah, I don't know how to say it in English. Too bad. I'll say it like this. But it is where our center of power is, our creativity comes from. We literally give life there.
Mhm.
So, it is our creative energies. It's that's
Yes.
where things start. And
Yes.
so being disconnected, a lot of women are not connected to this part of our body, like physically not, there's no attention there or awareness. And because of that, we are disconnected from this amazing source of power that we have within us. So connecting back there, bringing awareness, about being conscious about our beliefs that we have about ourselves, about our sex, will make, when we get conscious there, it will make a difference in how we operate our power, how we can use that.
So
Does
you're
it make
saying
sense?
that, yeah, when you're saying that, and I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. You're saying that when a woman is in touch with that power plant here, which is the vagina, you're saying that she is more able to function. Is that what you're saying?
You could say that. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It might sound a bit extreme, like function, but yes, it's it's total. It's like.
So let me ask you to break that down if you can. If you can't, that's okay, because I know it's not necessarily what we came to talk about. But how does a woman reconnect there? Because I mean, what if you're single? What if you're a single woman like me? How do you connect that power? I'm not saying you can't. I just want to explore it, because when women think of down there, we think of intimacy and relationship in some regard, not all the time. How does a single woman, and I know it's a little bit segueing here, but how does a single woman connect that power? And I know that on here there are quite a few of my single sisters, so I'm asking that question because I got some of my single sisters in the house right now, and some of them will be on the replay. How do we connect and grasp that power and hold it if we're single, or does it not matter if you're single or not?
Well, I think it all starts with attention. It's really where it starts. It's where you bring your attention to. That's what can like start to move, whether it's in energy, whether it's in your life. Whenever we bring our presence to and our attention, that's when we can start to discover. Because as long as it's in our conscious, in our blind spot, it's not that we are know about. We have nothing to say about it. So first of all, bring attention. Do you actually feel connected to your pussy? Are you actually aware of it? Like before I started this work, I was feeling really disconnected. I wasn't really thinking much about my pussy. I was like kind of leaving that, like, I didn't feel comfortable. So it starts with noticing and noticing what is already there when I connect. What is the thoughts? What is the emotion?
There, like, how can you not notice that thing? It's right there.
I know.
It's there. You have to interact with her every day.
I know, and there's so many women, including myself before, who are completely disconnected. I couldn't even feel my pussy really well, and I wasn't sure what I wanted and felt. And I think that's the other ingredient, you could say, is desire. And desire is kind of a direction or a compass to what you want. And
can you just clarify what you want, where, and how? Because when people hear the word orgasmic, they think sex. So what do you mean about this? And probably that's what you're referring to, but I want us to be so clear that there's no ambiguity here. So what do you mean by desire? Because I have a desire right now to keep my hair like this. I'm loving this new hair. I'm desiring it because I'm getting so much more attention from the guys. So what do you mean by desire here?
Well, I think this is a perfect example of desire that you have. It's like this thing that you feel like, oh, this is where my heart starts to sing off, or that is something I really want. It can be a physical thing, like actually really desiring having really good sex can be a desire, but it can also be just feeling touched or getting a hug or desire to eat something really great or to look great, to wear the.
I had a desire, and I shared it in Sisterhood My Hand. You probably saw that. And I said, I desire not to go to bed alone tonight. I was just tired of, I literally was not wanting to go to bed alone. And I desired companionship. And I shared it in the group. And I said, guys, is it just me? And you probably saw it in the girl, like, is it just me? Or is there anybody else who just doesn't want to go to bed alone tonight? And I had that desire last night. I didn't want sex, or I just wanted that intimacy and that companionship. And the reason, Martha, that I'm talking about these things is that on Sister Hold My Hand, which is going to be my talk show bigger going forward, these are the topics I want us to address because so many women have these
Yeah.
desires and we
Yeah.
don't know how to address them.
Yeah.
So I get you when you say it's just a desire for something. And so many of us have the, thank you so much, Audrey. Audrey says, I love this conversation. Let
Mm.
me ask you this question because when I sent out the broadcast, I tell people that guess what? I'm going to be talking about orgasmic meditation. And some people are like, oh, I remember somebody
Oh
inboxed,
my God.
Ava, are you Ava? And they were hiding their faces. And can I just say this to you? When I was with you last week and I heard, I was like,
Yeah.
in my house, I was like, you, I was like, oh my God. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
you saw that, right? I was like,
Yeah.
because I'm from a culture where, not me personally, because I can talk about sex, like seriously. You
Mm.
saw that. I ain't got an issue. I don't have an issue with my body. I don't have an issue with sex. I'm very
Right.
open to discussing it. But
Yeah.
where I'm from culturally, it's the thing that we don't talk about. We know it happens because the babies come. We know it
Yes.
happens because we get married. We know it happened because our husbands, some of our husbands will cheat or whatever, but nobody wants to talk about it. So when I heard orgasmic meditation, people instantly think climaxing. And you
Right.
taught me last week the difference with them. Can
Yeah.
you help to educate us?
Yes.
Because some of us, like myself, did not know the difference, did not know there was a difference. And I would love you to help my ladies to understand it and my men as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Because I love this always. Because
I know,
so
you know what, guys, she comes alive when she does this.
I do. I do. I do. Yes, because it was a revelation for me when I heard about it. It was like, oh my God, because before I thought I couldn't climax. I wasn't a sexual woman. I wasn't any sensual. I was like, this. I even called my vagina my pussy. I was saying this doesn't work, and I was super resigned about
It's
it.
broken. It's
It's
broken,
broken,
right?
and it was broken. Yeah, and I would make jokes about it, and I would be like, sex is not for me. I have other hobbies. But
Yes.
if I would tell you the honest truth, underneath my cynicism, I was really sad, and I thought I was broken, and everybody was having fun, and I was not. So,
Ooh.
and I was really resigned, and I was like, never mind. But somewhere in the background was, no, I'm a human being. I'm a woman, and something is out there for me as well, and I haven't discovered it yet. And
Mm.
and so I set out to the journey, and then I heard about orgasmic meditation. And so one of the biggest things that we also teach you when you start the practice is there's a difference between climax and orgasm.
What's the
So
difference?
exactly. So climax we know as the peak orgasm. It's like the buildup of energy, like build, build, build. Then you have a peak where there's like a release of energy and then a drop of energy. And
Mm-hmm.
so in the release, you could say there's where the ejaculation is, where the orgasm, when people come or coming, that's what's then happening, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
a buildup of energy, a peak and a drop of energy. So that
Mm-hmm.
is, we refer to that within the method of orgasmic meditation as climax.
Mm.
So then you have orgasm.
Yes.
Orgasm is more sense, you could say it's more of a state you're in. It's an
Yes.
orgasm state. So have you ever been in a flow state, like, how top sporters or artists, when they're completely immersed in an experience,
Yes.
like thoughts disappear and time seems to disappear. And then
Mm-hmm.
you get into this flow state. So
Mm.
orgasmic meditation is about getting in an orgasm state. And
Yes.
so time disappears and thought disappears, and you completely are focused and immersed in what you're feeling and into your
Mm.
body and feeling that flow of energy. And then you can actually, when you start practicing and noticing, you start to feel a flow. So sometimes
Mm.
the energy goes up, it can be intense, it can be very subtle and go down. And it's more like, I always make this comparison. I think I did in the lecture, like, when you have the conductor in an orchestra, right?
Yes.
When the conductor is moving the hands and the music goes louder and softer, and then it's the whole, and at the end of the orchestra you usually have the ta-dam, right? So
Like an ebb and flow. You're in ebb and flow. Is that what it's
yeah,
like?
right, but you could say that's the climax. It was like
Yeah.
ba-bam, and the whole orchestra itself is like, the whole flow is a state of orgasm, like a
Mm.
state, and you can recognize that state by the heartbeat goes faster, the flushing of the cheeks. It's like you might feel heat or electricity in your body, And while you own more, you can start to feel more, like more differences, more nuances in energy and what you feel in your body. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. For those who are just joining me, thank you, Nemo. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much, Martha. I'm gonna just read some comments really quickly here as we
Sure.
go through. Hi, Martha. You're there. Hi, Maya. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the link, Maya. Audrey says over 18, definitely. Guys, please tag somebody. Share this on your page if you are bold enough to do so. Hey, Afra, thank you for joining this PG-13 18 conversation. Thank you, Annie. And Audra said, I love this conversation. Audra, what do you love about it? Maya said, we have them and are coy in talking about it. Yep, we do. We are coy. Hi, Nemo. And I love what Sharon said. Sharon said, you should love your yoni. I like the word yoni. And your feminine energy.
Totally.
Maya says, heat on the ears. I don't know what that means, but.
Well, I mean, when you talk about it, you start to feel it already, right? You start to you might blush, you might feel heat in your body. And then because it's a topic that brings a lot of emotion and a lot of movement. But I love that you acknowledge it because it starts with noticing. It starts with noticing.
So
Yeah.
I remember saying to you last week, which I hope when I become very famous, nobody quotes me for saying this. I remember saying to you, I remember saying to you last week, well, I remember, can I even say this? I remember talking to you about climax and intensity, and I've got two children. I've had sex, right? So I remember talking to you about what is it that happens when a woman climaxes and her clitoris is so intense that you're like, okay, don't touch, don't touch. And you were telling me something about grounding, which we're going to go into in a minute, because I really want to hear more about grounding for myself, for me personally. But tell us, what is orgasmic meditation? Like, what is it really? What do you do? I hear about it and you're teasing us. What is it that you do? How is it done? Do you clap your hand? Do you cover your ears? Do you do the dance?
Definitely, all of that. No kidding. No, so orgasmic meditation, right? What is it? So it's a meditation, and to give it to you as blunt, as clear as that it is, because it is. I know. Well, the first time I heard it, I was quite like, this is a bit weird, but it's okay. If you have that thought, that's completely normal. But so orgasmic meditation is a partner practice where for a partner practice. So you do it with another person.
Yes.
And it's a meditation of 15 minutes, where for 15 minutes.
1-5.
1-5, exactly.
And the partner, I wanna break it down in monosyllables. So the partner, is that your sexual partner, or it just means like a gym partner, just a partner? What do you mean by partner? Because that's really important.
Partner. Yeah, so your partner can be your lover, your romantic partner, but also a person who is also trained in the practice. So this is like a practitioner partner, right? So, but you both know and are trained in the practice, so that's like your own partner, you could say, because OM is short for orgasmic meditation. Yes. And so to continue, like the practice is a 15-minute meditation that you do, the both of you, and you create a certain setting. And what happens is there's one person stroking the upper left quadrant of the clitoris of the woman for 15 minutes with no other goal than to feel. And both persons do that, only feeling. There's no goal.
Okay, I like that, because when I heard it, like most people probably, I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Because it sounded like it was sex. But when you explained it at the session last week, you said, no, it's not about sex at all.
Right.
Because when people hear the word orgasm, the first thing that comes to their mind is having intercourse. But this is not about having intercourse. No. This is, and I go into the part later where you talk about cleansing energy and whatever, and you talk about, that energy field right here, but it's really about to feel, right?
It's
not about it's not about having an ejaculation or having having intercourse. It's not about having sex.
No. Explain. I love what you say about feeling. So both people doing the practice, and I will not go too much into details how you do it right now, but there's a certain setup, and a certain position you sit in, but both people really tune into their body to feel. And yes, you are using that, you could say, sexual energy, because a clitoris is being stroked. And that's actually the only thing that's being stroked. But for now, the clitoris is being stroked very lightly. And both people focus on that point of connection from the finger on the clitoris, and feel into their own body. How does that feel? And so there's no reach for climax. So there's nothing that needs to happen or needs to be produced. You just, like, you know how when you do sitting meditation or walking meditation, you focus on either a point on the wall or your breath or your walking. The same with Om is, but you focus on the sensation in your body. And so it is more of an attention and an awareness practice. It's more of an awareness practice that you bring your awareness to, what do I feel in my body? What is happening? And also because it is a practice that is about connection. And it's a practice that is about learning how to stay present in connection and to feel, and you create this thing together. And so
I like what Maya just said. 1 second. Maya says, and Audrey says, refreshing to hear this conversation openly. Do you know what? A lot of people in my community are going to be like, oh my God, Ava, you didn't go there. I did. I went there. I'm my own person. And Maya said, it sounds like, and I like this. I think this is what I got last week. It's connecting mind, body, and spirit. That's what I felt.
Right.
Now, I know that I told you guys openly, and I can say it again. I won't have anybody stroke my yoni unless you are my partner. We discussed that, but that's just my personal thing on that. I've lost Martha and I don't know what happened there.
No,
okay.
I'm back. Sorry.
And so personally, I personally won't have anybody touch my yoni unless you're my partner. That's just my thing. But so let me just reiterate for you guys. Martha is saying that you have a stroker and a strokee, right? Is that correct? And the stroker is stroking. Might have to. Nima says might have to buy a peacock.
I missed that one. I missed that one.
You don't have to buy a peacock feather. You can go to the practice, Nemo, and have it done if you're open to it, because it's actually like going for a massage. You know, it's really, I'm just using this analogy. It's not the same, but it's like going to a salon, a proper regulated place, and getting a massage. It is really going to get an OM massage, you know. It's really like that. And there are practices all over the place. And I know that Martha does a beautiful practice in Holland, because I've met quite a few of my friends who have been to her. I've got friends who go to her all the time. And so I really want to reiterate to you guys, it's all about feeling. It's not about having sex.
Yeah.
Because I remember I thought, oh my God, and you said, nope, there's no sex involved. It is really about being stroked and feel your body and ebb and flow. It's like a dance, that nice little, like your floating dance. I'd imagine that's what it is. But tell me about the grounding, because we talked about that.
Yeah.
I know we're not going to go into all of the details.
Yeah.
But the grounding part of it, because I came doing some research, by the way. I researched the nest, I researched the grounding.
Right.
Tell me what is grounding from your perspective? Because my husband, when I get him next time, I'm telling you, we're gonna have to go and learn this practice, y'all.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let me come back to what you said about massaging. I just want to reframe that, because it almost seems like somebody is doing something to you, and actually that's not what's happening. Because it seems like there's one person. So in the nest, that's like the position you sit in. We call that the nest. There is one person lying down. And then that's the woman, and she is undressed from her waist down, other clothes stay on. And the person who is stroking, that can be either a man or a woman, is fully clothed and only takes his or her shoes off. And so you're in this position that the clitoris is being stroked. And so it might seem like the one is doing something to the other. Yet it's not like that, because both partners have an equal role in that container, we call that you create, that setup, because one cannot do without the other, because that's how the practice is designed. So both meditate, you could say, both experience it together. And what I teach is, I teach people how to do the practice and all the, you could say, etiquette and container around it. Like really, there's a set of rules, and to make it really clear and like a safe space, so that both parties understand what they are creating together. So yeah, so I teach people that, and there's the whole method around it. It actually learns how to work with that consciousness around that sexuality, around that body awareness, and whatever comes up in that connection. Because when you're such an intimate connection, there things will come up.
Yes.
Right. That will do. And grounding is one. It's part of the practice. Grounding is where we start the practice with, like an Om meditation, the 15 minutes. It's one of the steps we do before and one of the steps we do at the end. And it's a very important step.
Yeah.
Because you could look at grounding is, in the beginning, is making you present. When you come out of your day and you're rushed, and you can have this when you're home, but also when you come home, you're so busy in your head, and actually grounding brings you to the now. It makes you present to what do I feel actually in my body. Like, oh, what's going on? It makes you maybe even realize you have been holding your breath all day, and then it brings you to now.
Wow,
So
I love that.
And during the Om, you build up a lot of energy. You build up a lot of energy in your body. That just happens. And then so you have a lot of energy collected after 15 minutes. And the both of you, actually, both people feel that into their body, like experience that orgasm state. And so at the end, you ground to actually be able to ground yourself back, like into your body, like kind of have that energy go. So you could say ground that energy so that you're not flying high, and then when you go out, you're like, no, you kind of bring yourself back into your body in that grounding, so you can actually use and integrate that energy into your day and into whatever you're doing. So grounding is a form of bringing yourself down on earth again in anything you do, and become present again and really feel into your body. And yeah, and for me, it's when I do it in Om, it feels really good. Like grounding feels just really good. And but in my day, I also notice when I'm very frenzy or busy in my day, I've worked hard, I spoke to a lot of people. When I come home, I'm very much in my head, and the grounding brings me back to right now and to actually feel my body again.
Do you know what I like about the concept of Om is that, and I really like the concept with my partner when I do have one, is that sometimes, and all of us probably have experiences, guys just want to have sex. Sometimes you call it a quickie.
Yeah.
But sometimes the woman gets left out of it, right? Because it just, whatever, and he just, big climax.
Yeah.
Here we're talking about something that is going to be about both of us. It's reciprocating, right? Because I remember asking the question there, but hold on, what does a man get or the stroker get?
Right.
And persons who are couples, so they are married couples or in a relationship, say, no. My husband likes doing it because he is pleasing me. And by pleasing me, he is also pleased. And I was like, and so for me, that concept, when it's your partner, made more sense for me. But the question for me is, and Gavit, I agree with you, something new to try with your partner because you're married, you're with him. And it's something to try with him without something new to try in your relationship. But I also recommend that it's something to go and learn to do properly. If you go to the practice and learn to do it properly, because there is a technique to it. Obviously, it's not just, oh, let me just stroke. It's not like that at all.
No.
But let me answer this question: what does the person who is not your partner, a stranger, a practitioner, get from it?
Right.
I understand what my partner will get because he's my partner. We're intimately connected. What does a stroker? Is it a stroker? What does a stroker get?
Yes.
When he or she is not an intimate connection.
I love that. And I get that question a lot. And especially from women who ask, what is the stroker getting out of this? And so they actually talk to the strokers, like, what do they get? Like, what is it actually and they report different things. So this is an awareness practice, right? Where you focus on your body and what you feel into your body. So strokers, and I can share about an experience because I also stroke. Strokers get, they say they feel more confident. They feel more confident relating to women, being with women.
Okay.
They feel more free and at home with emotions and feeling their body. They feel more focused. They feel more energized. They bring all that, they learn how to communicate in a different way. Like, it's a different way of communicating. And actually, you know, for a lot of men have no clue how to handle a woman. And I don't mean it in a bad way. Like, really, we're different. We're wired differently. And then I speak to a lot of men who say, like, I wish I knew what was going on in her head. But then sometimes she just kind of goes all over the place. And I don't know how to handle that. So as a stroker, you have like the profound opportunity to learn how to bring your attention in such a way that you can, you know, be with another person. And where in that attention she can let go in. Where whatever comes up can become up, and you can stay present with it without having to change it, to fix it, to check out yourself. You can just bring your attention, and in that things can move or flow, or the connection can stay. And there's a lot what strokers get out of that, and it doesn't seem obvious at first.
Wow. Yeah. So let me ask you the question, because there's some people are inboxing me on Facebook, so I'm going to be turning away to look at it. Someone said, hi, Ava, great topic. Can I just ask you, Ava, how does one ensure safety is adhere? Because we're dealing with emotions, and regardless of how much, it is something like you could just go to a stroker or go to a practice. When somebody's clitoris is being stroked, obviously they are going to feel something. How do you ensure safety is there for those who want to experiment?
I love that question, and thank you so much for bringing that up. So thank you for this question. Yes, there is a really clear, you could say, etiquette around the practice, and that's why we say you practice with people who know the practice, whether like in however you learned it, but you know it. So one of the biggest things we say in the practice is the ground rule is there's no commerce. And what I mean with that is there's no exchange. Like, you know how a lot of times in our society we kind of are based in this exchange thing. Like, I give you something, you give me something. Unfortunately, like with dating, it's a lot of times, you know, women feel obliged to give something to the man because maybe he paid for dinner and now he's expecting sex. Or, you know, we have all these things that's happening. I used to have this belief that after the third date you should kiss. And it was not even, you know, it was not even something that I felt really bad about. It was just something I thought I had to do because that's what you needed to do when you dated. So in OM, there's a really clear ground rule. There's no exchange in that sense. You both own for your own pleasure, for your own practice. So we can just, you know, agree to have an own practice, and afterwards we don't have to spend any other time if we're not don't want that, right? Okay. And that's one of the rules. That's one of those, to create a real clear agreement between the two of you. Now, then you have the container. And the container of the practice is like 12 steps that always happen the same way. So you have like asking for a moment is the first step, and actually cleaning out, like wrapping up the nest is the 12th step. And in between, you have different steps. Now, what these steps allow for, and grounding is one of them, by the way, what these steps allow for is for people to know exactly what is going to happen. So when you agree to OM together, you both know exactly what you're saying yes and or no to. Yes. Right? And so that brings that, you know, we have this center in our brain that's always on the lookout for danger. That's just something we have as humans. We allow to calm that down. And when's that's the vigilant center. Once that calms down, you can like drop into your body and feel more. So the practice gives this structure, a really clear set of rules and expectations, you could say, in that sense, like what you can and what you cannot do. And then there is, you know, the community aspect of it too. Like people who are trained, you know, we connect with each other. People know each other. So whether you're private, whether you OM in your privacy of home, that's okay. Or, you know, you OM with different people from the community because you're practitioners. There is a big network of connection and people meeting each other because, you know, going out with like-minded people is great as well, right? So people know each other. There is this clarity about we're practitioners, and that's the clarity around it. And then there's of course the, you know, being adults about it too, like being aware of where do you say yes to and where do you feel comfortable and where do you don't.
Thank you. So I'm getting quite a number of things in my inbox. Of course, some people are never gonna, and I have to keep people's identity private. So somebody said, Great topic. So, you know, it's interesting. I was a little bit shy about talking about this on
Yeah.
Facebook. I was, and then I just thought, you know, what the hell? Because Sister Hold My Hand is really to talk about topics that women really want to talk about, but are too afraid to talk about it, and nobody wants to
Mm,
touch it. So I'm going to touch it. And so, like in the next couple of weeks, we're talking about, you know, a woman proposing to a man. I have a guest who proposed to her husband. I've got
wow.
somebody who's talking about, yeah, why she left Christianity and went to spirituality. I'm really touching the topics that we don't
Mm,
want to talk about. So I'm just glad I did. So somebody say, um, yeah, do research if you're not sure. There you
yeah,
are. Somebody said,
that's a
awesome
good one.
topic. Every woman should try a tantric massage. What's the difference between tantric and this? What's the difference? I know what a tantra chair is. I've never heard of tantric massage. Is there a difference between these two?
Yeah, I'd say like there's just different paths, you could say. It's just like you have different ways to explore and engage in certain things. Like Tantra is an amazing way to explore your sexuality as well, but also awareness. Tantra is a lot about awareness as well, not only, you know, the sex of it. And in Tantra, there's different pathways as well. And so
Okay.
this is orgasmic meditation. It's his own thing. It's his
Yes.
own thing where you learn your this bringing this awareness and using this practice for awareness and this body connection and this connection to each other,
Thank you.
and cultivating that. Yeah.
And in some ways, that yoni eggs are also good for grounding and drawing feminine energy. I also recommend naturism for those who need to become more comfortable with the beauty of human bodies.
Mm.
Somebody said, Ava, can you ask Martha, is this something that you can actually invite a practitioner into your home to do with to teach your partner? So the person is asking, could you teach me and my partner in my home how to do
Yeah.
this? Is that
Yes,
something you
totally.
do?
Yeah, yeah. So around, you know, in different cities and different countries. I'm in the Netherlands, but you have in London, you have in America, you have a lot of trained or a lot. You have trainers and you know, and own trainers and coaches. And so when you get in touch with them, you actually look at what is it that you desire, what is it that you need, and if you want to get trained,
Desire. I like the word
right?
desire. What you
Desire.
desire.
Yeah, we said it about it in the retreat. It was so
Right.
good to talk about desire, right?
I love it.
But yes, you can you know, you talk with your trainer and coach, and then you set up your training, your own training, and that can be either be in person. So yeah,
Hmm.
that can be in the space of your house. It can be, but it can also be online. That can also happen. And like sometimes people live remote,
We
and
can
you
teach
can
them
actually get,
online.
yeah, you can get online own trained. Yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah.
amazing. So here's if I were to do it and I needed a practitioner to teach me, and I live in London, I have nobody in London touch my yoni. So I would have flown to the Netherlands to get it. Or fly you over to come
Yeah,
and do
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just think I'm just saying, guys, you know, if you want to try it and you want to be in the privacy of somebody who doesn't know your community, you can always invite Marta over, or you can fly to see her. Now I like the whole concept of what it stands for. That it's and here's what I like. I like the fact that and I'm gonna be a bit selfish. I like the fact that my stroker, which is normally would be my partner, will just be kind of paying attention to me and not him trying to do something else. Because sometimes men are
Hmm.
just about themselves in the moment. And I like that
Hmm.
whole 15-minute attention just for me in that space and place.
Hmm.
Don't know if I could endure that long because I believe that 15 minutes in that space is intense. Tell me, what is it or how is it that 15 minutes doesn't become too much for women? I mean, because
Hmm.
that's, I don't know if I'm made up differently, but that's a long time.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine you think that. I can totally imagine. And yes, and just about what you said about women actually, you know, receiving, you could say, although this is like, you know, you have both play equal parts, but actually for a woman in the position of a strokee, for women to actually be stroked for 15 minutes and not to have to give anything back because we're so conditioned as women to take care of the other. We always put ourselves second, really, a lot. It's just automatic. And then we're always busy with, is he okay, or is she okay, or is my family okay? And then for so many women, it's so hard just to lie down for 15 minutes and feel into their body without having to do anything. So
Hmm.
in itself, it's already a very nourishing practice for ourselves to allow that and to practice receiving that and feeling ourselves, and that already brings up a lot for women, like brings a lot of movement. And for men as well, to not to have to produce, like for men it's expected that they know it, that they produce results and and it's all very masculine, and you have to go forward. And for a lot of men, actually allowing themselves to just feel is a thing in itself, right? Allowing themselves to just feel. They don't have to produce anything. They don't have to look for outside confirmation that they're doing it right. They only need to feel into their body, and then both do that and feel where's the most sensation in your body. And
I think it's beautiful. I personally think just being in that state and space where you're not having the man to, I think you get to know each other a little bit. I think there's a deeper knowledge of getting to know her body. I think that happens. And I also think that it's just that space where, and I'm going to be selfish again, when you are going to be fulfilling my desire, I don't have to pay you back. I don't have to pay it forward in that moment. I'm just being nurtured and nourished and taken care of. And sometimes we need that as women.
Well, and even think about it like this, like what good can you do when you're exhausted and empty, and then you try to take care of your beloved ones? Like really, when you're empty yourself and you're drained, and then you still try to force yourself through it. I mean, imagine then yourself being fulfilled and nourished and taken care of, and then you still have that big heart and take care of others, because we do. So there's a total different place to come from, like coming from this empty place or this fulfilled place. And everything, I believe when women are fulfilled and connected there in their body with their pussy, or following their desires, allowing themselves to have it, we shine. We really. And then whenever a woman is in touch with that desire, and then her orgasm, we say in orgasmic meditation, is everybody benefits, really, because we shine it to people.
Is that why us single women are not shining? Because I'm kind of single. Yeah, happening.
Well, a lot of women are just tired. We work hard, we have our careers, our children, we have our things we have to keep up, and we're tired. And it doesn't look very pretty when you walk around all cranky, because that happens too. When we women don't nurture ourselves, we get really cranky and we go really bitchy, and then we're like like we go really.
We're short fused, and it's like that. And that's what we said about. Well, I mean, you can't serve from an empty cup.
That's right. That's right.
And I think, as you say, our power comes from here.
Yeah.
So I really think that is so amazing. I'm not.
I just read a comment. Are you glowing like you just had a know?
Can you imagine when I have one? Because boy, like I'm glowing right. No, I'm using Sophia. I haven't got the so at the retreat I learned from one of the ladies who did sisterhood, amazing, who did the rituals. She taught me about a new face cream that I'm using, and I must tell you, it's done wonders for my face. I'll get the name and share it in the group. Tell me about some of the things that people say, because I heard it, but I was at the retreat. I heard some of the comments and the feedback. Tell the audience that are joining us live and on the replay, what are some of the feedback you got? Because I heard some of it personally at the retreat, but tell some of the women and men here, what are some of the feedback that you get from people who come to your practice?
And you mean like what the practice provides for them, or why they come to the practice?
What is done for their lives?
Right. Yeah. Well, so it is quite incredible. Like just to give an example from my own life, when I started, I felt really disconnected, and like I said, I felt broken. And when I started the practice, it was like as if this switch went on in my body. Like I started to feel turned on. It was as if I had this constant buzz in my body that like I suddenly started to feel in my body. Like I felt my desire. I felt different. I was energized. I also knew better what I wanted to do. I also tasted things better. And the amazing thing is, and that's what a lot of
your taste buds got better.
Yeah, I know. Actually, oming actually makes you more pretty and sexy and attractive. So
Oh
right?
my
About the
God,
face cream.
I'm missing out on that.
Yeah, yeah, but really, it was about um feeling connected is a big thing that people, you know, we all long for this connection to ourselves, to others, and it's actually the connection that nourishes us. And then you have great benefits like libido increases, you feel more energized, feel more secure, you have more self-esteem. And another unexpected surprise, there were two unexpected things I had. This was physical pain started to disappear. So I had this stiff jaw, and others have confirmed that too, like in their personal experience, that suddenly my body started to relax, right? Because I was practicing on a regular basis, and certain pains I had, like chronic pains, started to disappear, and I'm way more relaxed in my body overall. That was one benefit. And another one was oh boy, now I lost it. We'll come back. We'll come back. I can remember, but it was a
I just have two amazing questions that I want to share with you.
all right.
Somebody said, no, someone said, oh, hi, Ava. I am 62 years old, and I can
Right.
tell you, I have been doing OM for the last 3 years. My marriage
Wow.
was broken. My husband was about to walk away, and this helped us to reignite the fire. Now we
Right.
are like hot summer babes running around doing this almost every week. And that was my other question I wanted to ask you was, so
Yeah.
here's somebody who's saying that their marriage was about to fall. And oh, she's typing and she said, that's because my husband was always in a hurry just to have an ejaculation. And
Yeah.
I was being underserved. And then it for years, she said for over 40 years, that was our life until somebody, our neighbors, introduced us to OM. And I really had to sitting down, and in our practitioner session, the practitioner explained to my husband that this was about making me feel like I was part of the exchange. And since my husband was open to listening, I can
Mm,
guarantee you and tell you that it saved our marriage because he was no
beautiful.
longer just taking, he was also giving, and I was open to receiving.
Yes, that's
I love it. I
beautiful.
love
I
it. I
love
love
that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a beautiful thing.
it.
Yes,
Wow.
I know. I know. It changed my relationship to men completely. It changed the relationship to myself completely. The other thing
Mm.
that happens too is, and that's the second benefit, and what's surprising for me is, um, I shifted something in myself. It was more of an awareness, a conscious shift. And I started to be and relate differently to myself and the world. And because I shifted in relating and being differently with myself and the world started to relate differently with me. And
Wow.
started to be different with me because I was, there was the shift on my side and the world shifted with me. And that was amazing to see,
I
and
like
that
that.
is a big benefit. Yeah.
For those who are just joining us, and we're just about to wrap up Sister Hold My Hand, we're talking about orgasmic meditation. I keep getting that wrong. I have one question for you, and then I'm going to ask you to invite us to how we can work with you on this, because I know
Right.
that there are people who might watch on the replay, and it's not the kind of thing where some people might say, "Oh, hello," I'm on Facebook, for example. The people who are inboxing me are people who, some of them are on the live right now, but they're not comfortable to put this publicly. So, and I understand lots of them are from my kind of culture. I get that. But tell me, how often can one practice OM in a relationship or any other way? How often is it recommended?
Well, we say it's great if you do it every day.
Every
Like
day.
every day, yes. Like because it's 15 minutes. It's short enough to fit into your day, right? To have it on a regular base. So I think it's great if people do it every day because you can really get, it's just like running or doing yoga. The more you practice, the deeper you can get, and the more you get. You know,
Wow.
it's that, and you can do it a couple of times a week. You can do it once a week, but to get really, ongoing benefits, at least, 2 or 3 times a week is great. Once a week is also good, and every day is, I think it's perfect. Yeah.
Wow, the inbox messages are coming, and guys, I'm trying to wrap up. You're gonna have to go to Martha privately to have this conversation. Someone said, "Awesome, Ava. Women need to speak more on these topics. For many, it's part of their healing from bad relationships and sexual
Mm,
abuse." hold that thought because you're going to talk about that. Somebody said, hi, hi, Ava. I can tell you that starting doing OM has made my sex life better because we would do OM twice a week. And then when we have actual intercourse, I can tell you it's almost like I fall in love with my wife all over again. This is a man who
That's
is in love.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. I wish I could
Thank
say
you
who
so
you are.
much.
So,
Yeah.
and he said that, so basically what I'm getting is rather than trying to have sex every day, try some OM, and then when you actually have sex, that's what he's saying, that it
Yeah.
really makes the sex so much more vavavoom.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
merci beaucoup, that kind of a thing. So
Totally. And
I don't know, I
yeah,
haven't tried it, but I'd imagine that that state of being ebbed and flowing, that kind of thing must be good. Now answer
exactly.
me
Yeah.
this, because somebody just said that it's really good that we talk about these things. Thank you so much for this. And you said it in your treatment the other day that it really helps to heal abuse and women
Mm.
who've been through a lot of abuse and sexual abuse in relationships. That OM will help to release those kind of things. Is that correct?
Well, what happens to a woman's body a lot is when we have experiences, we have intense emotions, or any during our day, we when we have emotions and experience and we don't process them, we don't digest them, you could say, or deal with them, they get collected in our body. And a lot of women
Mm-hmm.
hold a lot of pain and emotion into their pussy, into their vaginas.
Yes.
Um, Now, so starting your own practice, you kind of you flood your system, you could say, with a lot of energy, and things start to move. And
Mm.
even bringing your attention to your pussy or to that this topic can already start to make things move. So yes, things will start to come up for you, and see what is the pain. Maybe for some people doesn't have to, but what can be the things that you are still carrying around or haven't released, that then you have an opportunity to
Mm.
actually release that and let it go. Now it's important to know that OM is not therapy. Like, I just want to make
Yeah.
that clear, that if you have really sexual trauma, you should get the help for that you need, really, because that's important.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
orgasmic meditation is an amazing addition and an you know extra tool for you to allow
Yes.
yourself to get a really safe connection back to your body and have this space to inquire. It's really an inquiry as well, like, what is coming up for me, like, what are the beliefs I have, what are the thoughts, what is always taking me out, like, what is this thought train that takes me out of the experience, out of the moment. Because it's, again, this awareness that can, once you're aware, you can bring a change. As long as things are
Mm.
unaware, you cannot do anything about it. So it's about being aware and present. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been so amazing. Tell us
Yes.
how, because I know you do online stuff,
Hmm.
which is so amazing. So, guys, we are gonna just have some quick bits. No wonder they say it's the woman love that makes a woman. It's love that makes a woman. Correct. Ava, you're glowing. Go away. Audrey agrees that she thinks it helps with, fixing your traumas and stuff. Om teaches the reconnection of your yoni energy and mental energy. I totally believe that. I mean, the yoni is connected to so many things. I remember when I used to breastfeed, and I mean, they teach you in the the pregnancy classes, but when I was breastfeeding my kids, and every time my kid, and it's actually gross just talking about it, but every time the nipple was pulled, I could feel it in my down there. You could feel there's a
Mm,
connection. And I
totally.
think,
Yeah.
like, and yeah, it's the energy source of your body. I could
Yes.
feel the connection. So I remember saying in my book, I struggled when I had my children, and my husband would want to have to touch my breast while in the same period of time. So when I had my
Mm,
children, I felt like for the next year, these are just for the babies. Don't touch them at all. And it was that confusion for me because when you touch this, I could feel it here, and it was just too confusing. It was probably a
mm,
psychologist can tell me what that was, but that was confusing for me. But I agree that this is an energy source. I agree that it's a
mm,
power source, not to be abused women and take it and say, oh, well, you're not having any today. No, not that kind of power. We're talking about where who you are can radiate more if you're tapped in and tuned in and turned on to who you are. So that
right.
leads me to telling us how can we get to work with you if we desire to be
Right.
desirable, to
Yeah.
desire, the desire, you know, desire,
There's a
desire.
desire, 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 desire. Yes. If you feel the desire and you have that pull, yes, totally, yes. Or even,
The
you know,
desire.
sometimes the desire is like a really tiny voice saying, "You might want to try this." And you're like, "Shh, quiet." And then you're like, but the desire keeps talking to you. That's what's happened with desire. Desire just talks to you, and you know, you can ignore it, but you know it in the back of your head, right? Like I
Yeah.
knew. So yeah, so how can you, yeah, you can get connected with me. I can share the link later to my website.
Mm.
That's
Yes.
www.turnonanl.com.
Yes.
There you have all the contact details. You can send me an email. You can also connect to me on Facebook, the Turn on an L, Turn on the Netherlands page on Facebook. Send me a personal message via, you know, I think you can send me a personal message because you can click on my name on Facebook. Just tell me you've been into this this live
Do you
video,
have
and
a
then
special offer for us? Is there any special offer for, I know we didn't talk about it, sorry, but if people were
okay.
to come to you from here, could they get a discount on your services?
Yes, totally. Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that. Yes, yes, because usually in events, or I give a 10% discount of people who,
Yeah.
you know, are, you know, brave enough to take the step, because it takes some courage sometimes to hear the desire and actually follow it. Because
Yeah.
yes, that can be a bit scary because, you know, it's uncomfortable. You're stretching yourself into an area maybe unknown or
Comfort zone,
unexplored
right?
before. Yeah,
Yeah, only
yeah,
comfort zone. Somebody
yeah.
just inbox, and this is the last question I can take, guys. I can see quite a few questions coming, but the conversation will continue at Sister Hold My Hand. So the link is on my page somewhere for the group. Maya, could somebody drop the link for Sister Hold My Hand here? Somebody said, and I just can't believe this question. Hi, Ava. I know you've been talking about doing a retreat. Could you arrange a retreat and invite Martha with one brave with one brave person to come and do a demonstration?
Oh wow! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's such an hot, amazing idea. I love putting that desire out. That's amazing.
Somebody just said
Yeah.
basically that I've been talking about dinner retreat. We haven't yet finalized the details, but could I invite, and this is a woman by the way, could I invite Martha to come to the retreat and one brave person who would allow her to demonstrate? I don't think I could watch. I couldn't watch.
It's a very I understand, you know, because you already feel the sensation. But let's talk about it because it's a beautiful thing. Actually, it is beautiful to be with a demo. It is something beautiful. Yes, come on, it's amazing. Yes.
I could not do. Well, if we have that retreat, I've already told you that if we have that retreat, I'm going to invite you to come because I think it'll be good for women. I don't know if I could watch a demonstration, but I'm sure there's some women who could watch it. I'm not sure I could watch it. It would be a little bit interesting for me. Sophia said, ask that person if they're willing to demonstrate to be to be the person that you demonstrate on, basically. Well, guys, person you're on the call, the Facebook Live, will you be happy to be the person to be used for demonstration, guys? Martha's gonna drop the links later. It's been such a refreshing conversation.
It's
If
been
you have any
amazing.
questions, now is a good time. If not, we can continue the conversation, and between Martha and myself, we come back periodically and answer the question. She put some
Right.
links here. If you're in UK, Netherlands is just over the road. It's a 45-minute flight. And she has a practice there. She also, for the right price, will come to you. So think about that as well. And she can teach you online. And I know that I've had clients who are doing video shoots, and I'm on Skype saying, no, turn that way, do this, do that. And it works
Right.
just the same. So
It
guys,
does.
thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much. If they're brave enough to ask them, they should would. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, challenging. But yes, but thank you so much, Ava. I'm so grateful. It's been such an amazing conversation, and it really talking about it already brings this awareness and this, you know, this approval. Actually, being able to talk about like without shame, just bring it in the open. Whatever, you know, we giggle and we have feelings, and it's okay because this brings that, and it's aliveness. You know, this is aliveness, and it's thank you so much for inviting me and having
But
this
you know
conversation because it's beautiful.
I'm so glad you said yes because I think so many of us women are just so wanting our bodies to feel more, to we desire more. And I
Mm.
know that for me, when I get married again, I really am I'm in the preparation stage. I've even shared my wedding cake yesterday. I haven't found the husband
I
yet, but
saw that.
I'm desiring. Okay, I'm in the
Right? Yeah.
desiring.
I
Oh my
love
God,
that.
Gavin, you're ready to. Gavin, are you saying you are prepared to demonstrate? Fantastic. So I'm in the desiring phase and I'm visualizing, but I do know that. So here's me personally. If I were to be married and my husband wanted to learn the practice,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
would myself and him go to the practice,
Hmm.
right? To be taught how to do it
Yes. Yes.
because he's my partner. So
Right.
I'm not averse to going to be to be taught this. What I'm saying is that I couldn't have a stranger um, do it to me as the stroker. So if I were to come, so let me answer while I'm at
Can
it.
I reframe that for a second? Can
Yes.
I just reframe the stranger part? Because people say it like, oh, there's a stranger touching me.
No, that's just
Actually,
me though. It's
it's
not.
it's just not your maybe your romantic partner, but it's somebody you know and trust. Because actually, you
Yes.
own with people that you know and you trust. It's not
Yes.
suddenly a random person like,
Yes.
hey, can you stroke my clit? No, that's not how
No.
it works.
Yes.
No, that's
No. I just meant, okay, let me reframe that. And I know
great,
you
great.
keep saying it's not the strangers because you said that. What I mean
Yeah,
is for me personally, it has to be my sexual partner.
sure.
So my question to you would be, if I were to carry my sexual partner to come there to do it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
would the stroker teach him how to stroke without touching? Or that's just sound wrong. But would he be taught and he's the one who's touching? Or would the stroker also touch?
You mean if the trainer would touch? Do you
Yeah,
mean
the
that?
trainer.
That's a great question. So no, in an ohm training session, actually there is no ohm happening at that moment. You learn the position, you know how to set up the nest, you know all the etiquette around it, and you really look into what is the desire underneath, what is it that you want to get out of the practice, and then you learn everything to practice. So you're really ready to go, and then you practice in the privacy of your home. And then afterwards you get coaching and training, like, 'cause you might have questions about practical things like your posture or position, but also about emotions or thought that might come up. So the coaching is really relevant afterwards to take you through the practice, because things will come up. But during the training, a trainer wouldn't touch you. No, and it close stay on.
I'm glad
Yeah,
we got that clarified because that
yeah,
wasn't very clear for me, and I'm glad we asked that.
great.
So that's really important. Oh my God, this is so
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you
yeah,
so much. It's been so
yes.
amazing. Guys, I'm sure you are just as enlightened as I am, and thankfully, I'm sure you got that. Orgasmic meditation is not just about having sex and putting a penis in a vagina. It's nothing like that at all.
Not at all.
It's about energy and feel and desire. Oh, I'm starting to feel it right now myself. And so
Yeah.
my husband better hurry up and come wherever you are, baby boy. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks to everybody who's been on the live and was bold enough to show up on such a conversation. It is
Mm,
time that we allow our desires, our needs, and our wants to actually be expressed. And I think that if
mm.
we are more self-expressed in our bedrooms, then probably we'll have less divorces and our marriages will stay longer. Thank you so much, Martha, for being here. Thank you so much, everyone. And for those
Thank
of us
you.
who have not followed Sister Hold My Hand, please follow us on the link that Moya has just shared. And I will see you guys next week, Sunday, where I will be talking about infertility with Sophia Campbell, which is another hot topic that so many women do not want to talk about. One last bit from Martha, and then we say goodnight.
All right. Great. Thank you. It was such a pleasure. And yeah, just connect to me. Feel really free, even if you have a tiny desire, connect to me. And really, this is about allowing yourself to feel, allowing your desire, and bring approval to it. And it's not weird to have questions. Look on my website to see, like, you have different movies, people talking about the practice. Also, you have the how to own video, so you can see what it actually looks like. So yeah, so thank you again. It was such a pleasure. And the questions and the courage of people hopping on the thread and saying their things. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to connect with everyone. And yeah, definitely we stay in touch. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And for those of us who are watching you do events around relationships, if you're looking for a great speaker, Marta is amazing. I've heard her speak. And I know that some of you on here in the UK and the US will probably be looking for these kind of speakers. By all means, I can recommend her myself, and I'm doing that openly. And you know who I am with my brand and what I do. I am vouching to say that she'd be an amazing speaker to talk about the yoni and, you know, all of this kind of relationship, sexual desire thing. And for now, it's Dr. Ava Eagle Brown. Thank you so much for watching. Good night, and I'll see you guys next week, Sunday. Peace out, you all. Good night.
All right. Good night.